Hi guys, my presentation for today is on time management. Now, time management is a broad term, but it includes a lot of stuff. It includes determination and goals and strategies behind it and a lot of stuff. But it's easy. Now, time management is really important. In a student's life, say for example mine, it's something I survive on, right? I have work hours to juggle on, I have school hours, I have homeworks, I have presentations, I have to study for exams, terms, and everything. So a lot of stuff. I have to do laundry, I have to manage work, everything. Now, if I don't manage time, well, at the end of the day, I'm just stressed out with nothing achieved, right? So let's start with what time management actually is. Now, time management is a process of planning and controlling much time to spend on specific activities. Well, it basically just divides our work, our preferences, and it helps us to give more attention to the work that's needed. Like if you have a submission to due tomorrow, and you're stressing on something that is not even important, like talking to a friend or meeting a friend. Well, time management would help us to be more attentive towards that homework that is due tomorrow. Now, good time management allows an individual to complete more in a shorter period of time. It helps in lowering the amount of stress and leads to career success. Now, most of the people are stressed because they don't have enough time, because they didn't manage it properly. They were spending their time, rather wasting it, on activities that could have been done later on, that didn't needed that attention at that particular point. Now, I need all of your attention, and I'm going to ask you one question. How much time in a day do we have, and why do we end up with less time and more work? Now, everybody has 24 hours in a day. Still, some people manage to achieve way more, and some people at the end of the day are just crying on why didn't they finish their work on time. Well, in my following presentation, we shall discuss on how to utilize our 24 hours a day and be stress-free by managing our time properly and giving attention to the stuff that's more important. I have a goal for this presentation, and my goal is to focus on time management strategies. Well, it includes how to manage time for different work and get that work done without being stressed and stretching it till last minute. I honestly believe in completing your work before time, because at the end of the day, if you have your work left and it's due, you're just gonna get stressed. There's nothing that's gonna help it, and then when you get stressed, you cannot be 100% at what you do, and you get anxious, and there are all the different emotions running through you, and you fail to do your work properly. So I always believe to finish it up early and be relaxed and stress free, while rest of the world is stressed upon that work that could have been done easily before. So for this presentation, I have three objectives. First one is goals of time management. What are your goals to manage your time? What do you want to achieve in life? What are your long-term goals? What are your short-term goals? What do you want to do in a day? What do you want to do in an hour? Then I have strategies to manage time. Like what all strategies can you follow so that you can manage your time and diverge into activities that are more fruitful to your career goals, and how to utilize those strategies effectively. Now, see, everyone has done this, even I have done that. Is sit on a desk, I have concentration, and I make a plan for myself, I strategize, and then I don't use them effectively, and at the end of the day I just forget what I planned. So let's go towards goals. Now, for your goals and for your strategies for time management, first and most crucial thing is to identify your preferences. Now, each individual is different. Each individual is unique. You have your own preferences, your own rhythms, your own habits. For example, some people are early risers. They wake up early, they would work out, they would study, and their energy level is at peak at early in the morning, like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Some people, on the other hand, are late risers. I would rather say they have their energy levels at peak later in the day. For example, some people prefer going to gym at 6 p.m., but they just feel more energetic at that particular time. Some people like to study overnight because they are more energetic overnight, but whereas some people prefer to go to bed early and then rise up early and then study. Each individual has a different rhythm and different habits. And each individual needs to access that thing, that they need to know what their body is used to, what the rhythm they follow, and that would enhance their time management skills. Because if you know whether you are an early riser and you can finish more work way early in the day, then you should manage your time accordingly. Study when you wake up, and you will remember more stuff, and then you can do chores that can be done later in the day and are not that important. Now, if you want to identify your preferences, first and foremost, you need to establish an ideal schedule. Now, an ideal schedule illustrates the preferences. Like, for example, say tomorrow, what do you want to do tomorrow? So your first thing is you need to go to bank to pay a bill, or there's a assignment that is due tomorrow and you need to hand it in, or there's a test at 9 a.m. and you need to study about it. So establish an ideal schedule. Like, you would get up at 6 a.m. if you're an early riser, and you would study for that exam at 9 a.m. exam. Now, if you prefer to study overnight, then your schedule should include that you would study from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. for the exam, 9 a.m. exam next day. Now, you need to identify energy patterns. So as I mentioned before, some people tend to have peak levels of energy early in the day, and some people tend to have peak level of energies later in the day. You need to identify them so that you can plan your schedule accordingly. Now, to plan this, you need to notice your on-time percentage. What this basically means is, say, for a 9 a.m. class, are you always on time, or you're early, or you're late? Now, if you're early and late, then by how many minutes are you early and late? Well, that just shows you that how much off schedule you can be, and then you can work on it and manage your time. Like, if you're always 5 minutes late, you're doing something wrong, you're wasting your time somewhere. And if you're 5 minutes early, then what are you doing in those 5 minutes? You can do some other work in those 5 minutes. Being on time is important. Being early or being late is just waste of time. Now, you need to establish priorities. Now, what establishing priorities mean? So prioritizing helps you focus the bulk of your energy and time on your most important tasks. Many top priority items occur at designated times. Prioritizing helps you to lock these activities and schedule less urgent tasks around them. For example, if you have to pay bill tomorrow, then that's a priority that you have to do, because if you don't, you're practically missing on paying a bill, and that affects you in many ways. So now, if you have any other work, like need to meet a friend, well, you can, if you have a schedule, you have a fixed schedule that you need to pay that bill tomorrow at, say, 10 a.m. You can meet your friend around it. Say, after paying your bill, you can go for a coffee with your friend and have a chat, right? Now, when you set up a priority, it can be set in 3 different levels of priority 1, priority 2, and priority 3. Now, what that means is priority 1 includes the most important tasks, crucial tasks that give you high rewards, and they must be done at specific time. I still say the same example, paying bills. Now, priority 2 are some important works that are flexible at scheduling, right? You can do them later in the day, but you have to do that day, like exercising. If you cannot exercise early in the morning, you can go later in the evening to work out, right? When your work is done. Priority 2 are least important items. They are low reward items. For example, calling a friend. It's important to call a friend, but if you cannot do it today, you can do it tomorrow. He would understand. Now it's time to build a schedule. When you understand your preferences, when you understand your priority levels, it's time you build a schedule for yourself. Now, scheduling and goal setting go hand in hand to get where you want to go. The most clearly defined goal won't be achieved without being put into time frame. The most organized schedule won't accomplish much unless it is filled with tasks related to important goals. So now we need to set our long-term and short-term goals. Long-term goals are something that we need to achieve in life, and short-term goals are goals that help us to achieve long-term goals gradually. Consider keeping high priority long-term goals visible alongside your daily schedule. For example, you can have sticky notes all around your house which states what are your long-term goals. Like, someone wants to be a doctor, then that's his long-term goal or her long-term goal, and they can have it besides their schedule, and they can work their schedule so that each work they achieve helps them to move towards their goal. Create a planner with priority 1 items, like the crucial, most important items and high reward items. This includes, class times, day for the term, labs, work, hours, and essential personal responsibilities, like you need to go to see a dentist. Well, those are priority 1 items. Link tasks to go to long-term goals. Linking day-by-day activities, planning your events so that the value and broader goals will be achieved. Your efforts will bring order to your schedule and get you motivated for your long-term goals. Now, to conclude, I would like to say is time management skill is very important, and to learn different ways to manage time and get work done without getting stressed and stretching it till last minute. Time management is a skill that helps you move towards your goal and is based on simple ideas like identifying your preferences, establish priorities, and build a schedule. If you follow these steps and build long-term and short-term goals and plan accordingly, you will excel in life. Like there is a saying, but wisdom is the power to put our time and knowledge to proper use. Managing your time properly helps you excel in all fields and relieves you of unwanted stress and helps you focus on your goals much better. I hope you learned a lot from this presentation, and it was a pleasure to give this presentation to everyone who is viewing it. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, guys.